Okay, so we're back in Rambam Matnos Yud Beis, and we raised a bunch of questions yesterday, and we'll quickly review. All right, so we had like 3 paragraphs here. A person will never become poor from tzedakah. And nothing bad and no harm will come about because of tzedakah. Because it says in Yeshayahu that the act of tzedakah will be peace, or is peace. Yeah. So then the second one was, so our questions were, first of all, it's not true, right? Especially, I mean, first of all, the very fact that they had to make halachos that put a cap on how much you give means that you could have become poor from tzedakah. Secondly, like bad stuff happens all the time. And then your question, Chaim, was, it seems a little redundant that if poverty is a davar ra, why do they need to say both of them? Okay, so then we had the other question, which so then the next halacha, anyone who has mercy, then he will be had mercy upon, he will receive mercy. God will grant you rachamim, and I got caught up in the translation this last time also.
Oh yeah,
he'll give you rachamim v'richamecha.
He will be
merciful towards you. Yeah, and he will cause you to increase. So then the question on that, my question on that, first of all, what does it mean? But then my question was, this comes from the Nidachas, where the rachamim is associated with you not taking any of the spoils from the city of people you just slaughtered, right? So it's a weird thing, and it's not even about us doing rachamim. So how's it even a raya? And then mishu achzari ve'ino merachim yachush yichush liyichuso. Anyone who is cruel and is not merciful, then we have to be worried about his yichus. Sheina achzar is mitzuya lebegoyim. Cruelty is only found among the goyim. Shneimar achzari hu v'lo yirachemu. And yeah, all right, let's just focus on those two. So yeah, okay. So anyone have any thoughts since yesterday? I looked into it a bit, found some stuff. Okay.
I have one thought about
sure.
the second line in the first paragraph.
Yeah. Right.
So I feel like you could read bishvil 2 ways there.
Yeah.
You could say that because you do tzedakah, no bad will come to you.
Right.
Or you can read it as, aside from poverty, all other bad things that could possibly happen from like the mindset tzedakah won't happen.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know what else could happen, but
right.
Like, I don't know. You say like not like the case of like the mitzvah, like
yeah, right. Yeah.
But like kind of like that. Like,
yeah.
Know, going to give tzedakah, like nothing bad's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah. I think that more conservative reading is a better reading. Yeah, the bishvil.
A metaphysical guarantee that.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, so it's funny because tzedakah is the one thing, not about this, but you are allowed to test for tzedakah. I heard a share on that once from Rebbe and it was really good. I just haven't.
You know who's done a test? I should do a test.
You should test, yeah. There's a Rav Eshneim's Torah content fund. Yeah.
I remember there's this whole thing with like tzedakah having this special hashgacha, like
right.
You don't need the money and all that. So like Ezra Fader and I like asked her about that for like a while. But like I don't know.
I got to find that share of his. It's in the lost year. I don't know if it's actually lost, but I think the share in between, I think from 2001 to 2002, it was like when they were transitioning from cassette tapes to digital, and so I don't know where those shirim are. I haven't like exhaustively searched. Anyway, so I looked into the sources that to see what Kafach says the sources are. So one of them is a pasuk in Mishlei. Let's see if I put it here, which is in 28:27. No sein larash in machsor umalim einav rav me'iros. One who gives to the poor will not be lacking, and one who hides his eye from the poor, from him, will have abundant curses. So I looked in the Mefarshim there. I mean, they basically all say similar things, like the David says, "Lo yuchsar asher babor pizur hatzedakah." Your wealth will not diminish because, or will not be lacking because of the squandering for tzedakah. So, like we've done a lot of psukim in Mishlei, especially on Monday night, that have this idea. That is a much more broad sense than what it seems. It's in the sense that, like, the way you engage in distributive justice with your resources will affect the way that you relate to your resources, such that you don't feel any lack, because you're going to define lack differently. You're going to define it based on actual needs. So that I think it takes care of the not becoming poor. The davar ra and the hezek not coming about, that's a little bit more difficult. So I can cheat, okay. And if maybe I shouldn't cheat. There are psukim that talk about. I meant to search this up ahead of time. Hold on a second. Tzedakah tielanu. This is the whole problem with things like this. Here we go. This is about the mitzvahs. Vaytzavenu Hashem, this is Dvarim 6, 24 and 25. Vaytzavenu Hashem lazos as kol hachukim ha'ela liras Hashem Elokeinu l'tov lanu kol hayamim l'chayos einu k'yam hazeh. Hashem commanded us to do all these chukim, to fear Hashem our God for our good all the days, to cause us to live like today. Tzedakah tiye lanu ki nishmor lazos as kol hamitzvahs. It will be a tzedakah for us when we do this entire mitzvah before Hashem our God as He commanded us. So that's one. And then there's by Avraham Avinu, when by the bris of Zra'im. All right, I can find it easier if I go to the psukim because I know where it is. Assuming I can click. Okay. Remind me to tell you something funny after this year. Okay. So when Hashem promises Abraham offspring, it says v'hemi Hashem v'yachshava lo tzedakah. So there's a whole machlokas on how to read that, who the pronoun is referring to. But according to at least one side of the machlokas, Abraham had emunah in Hashem, and Hashem considered it a tzedakah for him. So you see from here, for Abraham, that kol Torah kula, including your emunah, is defined as a tzedakah. Also in that one Gemara where it reduces all Taryag mitzvahs to 11, and then to 6, and then to 3, and then to 2, and then to 1. Anyone, are you familiar with that Gemara?
No, that sounds.
Oh, I've wanted to give a share on that for a very long time, but I'll spoil it. So the one mitzvah is you could reduce all Taryag to one mitzvah, which is tzaddik be'emunaso yechya. Tzaddik lives by his emunah. So obviously we have to define that. But my point is that, and I don't know if this is cheating, but you can define tzedakah broadly enough that it does encompass kol Torah kula, and then the statement is not as difficult, right? In other words, that if what we said about tzedakah in terms of doing justice in the Mishlei framework is true, certainly about the derech of tzedakah, and we also said by Avraham is Avraham commanded his children lasos tzedakah mishpat, right? So like that, it is broader. So that's like an approach. I don't know how much I like it, but that's what I was thinking. Okay, so then the kol marachim. Yeah. Sorry,
are you saying that if you are generally, good Jew, then nothing?
No. Okay, so let me talk about it a little bit more. Yeah. No. So, do I reveal this to the masses? There's I won't. Sorry, masses. You have my contact info. Okay, so when the Rambam says that nothing bad's going to happen because of tzedakah, so it does not mean that what people define as bad in terms of physical harm, material harm, that stuff can happen. But harm to your soul, which is the only thing that's real harm, like I always quote from a certain emperor. What's the quote? Emperor. Not what doesn't make you stronger. That's our quote. The only thing that can harm a man is what makes a man worse. Right. So the only true harm is what actually makes you more imperfect. And who's the only one who can harm you that way is yourself. Right. You're the only one who can corrupt yourself. So so the thing is that by doing tzedakah, then in other words, to the extent to which you are engaged in tzedakah and have internalized that value, you can't suffer any harm. Like in truth, you can't suffer any harm because the real harm is the imperfection.
Couldn't you?
And the friends.
If you're really good at tzedakah,
yeah.
if you're doing tzedakah on a really high level,
yeah,
That doesn't entail that you're going to do other things at a really high level either, though.
So this is maybe where I am more sold on my other interpretation, that this is talking about kol Torah kula, which is tzedakah and all good midos.
What does it mean, tzedakah?
It's tzedakah because it is giving, the Rambam's definition of tzedakah, more nebuchim. Yeah.
My knowledge is tzedakah for me. My Torah.
Yeah, and even my giving of money to other people is a tzedakah for me, because I'm giving my rational soul what it is due. That's how the Rambam defines tzedakah. It's a much more broadly. See, the only thing I'm in conflict about is that what Chazal meant. I know enough from the Rambam that the Rambam would be fine, saying that idea. Yeah, it's a nice idea.
I don't know why that would be here though.
Well, as we'll see, I mean, we already saw this from this other paragraph. This is really going way beyond the monetary giving acts of tzedakah into like the virtue of tzedakah.
Yeah.
Like that's why he talks about rachamim here.
But
discourse on life.
But tzedakah here is now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Tzedakah here is not an equivocal term. When you say tzedakah in the form that you're talking about it, that's not tzedakah meaning giving money. It's tzedakah everything. So wouldn't that go in like, I don't know, day or something? Like that sounds very.
Again, tzedakah isn't giving money though. Tzedakah is
Day machzor, so it's providing all needs for any creature. Yeah. Including yourself. He does use it equivocally. He says the tzaddikim of Zera Abraham, and we said also that this is not just when he says that the entire nation and religion only lasts because of tzedakah, and Israel's only going to be redeemed because of tzedakah. We saw it from the psukim there. That means like becoming tzaddikim and doing the derech of tzedakah, not just the act of tzedakah. But the reason why he's putting it here is because you have very few mitzvos where the entire value is like concretized in one action, which is like let's say like rachamim, right? That's another good value. There's no mitzvahs rachamim. There's a lot of mitzvahs that like encourage rachamim. This is tzedakah as a value, but there's a mitzvah tzedakah. So it's like a very appropriate place for it. Yeah. Okay, let's. Yeah.
I'm sold.
Okay, good. It's good. I think it's a good idea. All right, let's stop here, and then there is more for the rachamim thing that I found, but we can continue that next week. Yeah, no sense rushing this to finish before break. Okay, very good.